Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. The topic of our today's lecture is Introduction to Programming Identifiers. The table of contents are firstly, the introduction of the topic, then rules for constructing identifiers, valid and invalid identifiers, then kind of identifiers and its types, the difference between keywords and identifiers, and some examples, basic flowchart of creating identifiers and C++ program related to identifiers. First of all, introduction. Identifiers are names for entities in a C program such as variables, arrays, functions, structures, unions, and labels. An identifier can be composed only of uppercase, lowercase letters, underscore, and digits, but should start only with an alphabet or an underscore. If the identifier is not used in an external link process, then it is called an internal. For example, local variable. If an identifier is used in an external link process, then it is called an external. For example, global variable. Actually, an identifier is a user defined word. There are 53 characters to represent identifiers. The identifier is a combination of digits and letters and underscore such that it starts with a letter or underscore that can be used as variable, constant, function, names, or user data type variables. All identifiers must follow some of the rules, otherwise will not be recognized by the compiler and error will be thrown, and must not be one of the keywords defined keywords in C++ libraries. Okay, here are some rules for constructing identifiers. The first character in an identifier must be an alphabet or an underscore and can be followed by only by any number, alphabet or digit or underscores. Second rule is they must not begin with the digit. The third one rule is uppercase and lowercase letters are distinct. That is, identifiers are case sensitive. Commas or blank spaces are not allowed within an identifier. Keywords cannot be used as an identifier. And next one is identifiers should not be of length more than 31 characters. What are valid and invalid identifiers? First of all, valid identifiers. Identifiers that contain keywords are valid. For example, pint is a valid identifier even though it contains int. Bit is a keyword. Use of two sequential underscore characters in an identifier or a single leading underscore followed by a capital letter is reserved for C++ implementations in all scopes. What are invalid identifiers? Float or double and int are invalid identifiers, whereas double, int, and capital Int are valid identifiers because the case of the letter has been altered. If one or more characters in the name are in uppercase, it is a safe it is a safe bet against a keyword being used as name of a variable. So here are some kinds of identifiers. Number one is internal identifier and second one is external identifier. First of all, what is internal identifier? If the identifier is used in an external link process, then it is called external. Those identifiers are also known as external names, include function names and global variable names that are shared between source files. It has at least 63 significant characters. And now this one is for internal. The upper one is for external identifier. What are internal identifiers? If the identifier is not used in an external link process, then it is called an internal identifier. These identifiers are also known as internal names, include the name of local variables. It has at least 31 significant characters. Here are some types of identifiers. These are of two types: standard identifier and user defined identifier. What is standard identifier? Like keywords, there are also predefined identifiers in C. The predefined identifiers of the C language that are used for special purposes in the source program are called standard identifier. Each identifier has special meaning in C. The names used for standard library functions are standard identifiers. For example, in C program, the scanf and printf functions are mostly used for input or output operations. Therefore, the function names scanf or printf are examples of standard identifiers. The next one is user defined identifiers. The user or programmer can define its own identifier in the C program, such as variables, user defined functions, and labels, etc. The identifiers defined by the user in the program are called user defined identifiers. C is a case sensitive language. For example, the C compiler considers area with capital A and area with small a as two different identifiers. What is the difference between keywords and identifiers? First of all, keywords. Keywords is a predefined word and it must be written in lowercase. It has fixed meaning. It is a combination of alphabetic characters. It is a combination of alphabetic characters. And what are identifiers? Identifiers are user defined word can written in lowercase and uppercase. Must be meaningful in a program. And it is a combination of alphanumeric characters. Underscore character is considered as a letter. Here are some examples of identifiers. Identifiers are names given to different entities such as constants, variables, structures, and functions, etc. For example, int amount, double, total balance. In the above example, amount and total balance are identifiers, and int and double are keywords. So it is a program. Basic flowchart of identifiers. Okay friends, this is it for now. Thank you for watching this lecture and please also share the summary of what you have learned from today's lecture in the comment box. Allah Hafiz.